let's take that government shutdown first, because of course we keep using the phrase kick the can, but that is what they did. They pushed back the negotiations on that till later in January. What does that look like? Does it look very similar to the fight they have it over at the first time?
It does look very similar because they haven't resolved the fights that they put off the last time. They did this at the end of September to get them through December 8th. They did it December 8th to get them through December 22nd. And they did it December 22nd to get them through to January 19th. So we're still looking at the same discussions over how immigration is going to get resolved, how they're going to come up with a fix for the deferred action on childhood arrivals that Democrats have said is a big deal to them. We're also looking at how they're going to reauthorize the surveillance ability for the intelligence community under the Section 702 of FISA. And we're still looking at how Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is going to fulfill his promises to Senator Susan Collins regarding health care and making sure that insurance markets are supported after Republicans repealed, or rather zeroed out, the individual mandate in their tax bill.
So just to be clear, though, they can't keep punting on these things. What makes this time distinct is they kind of have to come up with some agreements.
They do, but they still have yet to agree on the basic levels of spending for defense and non-defense discretionary spending. And until they do that, in order to get around the limits set by the Budget Control Act of 2011, they have to keep doing these short-term measures. The congressional appropriators will need maybe a month, maybe at least 2 or 3 weeks in order to come up with the full appropriations package that will get us through the rest of fiscal year 2018. Until they get those top-line numbers on defense and non-defense discretionary spending, they're going to have to keep doing these short-term measures. And at this point, it looks like we're probably going to need another stopgap measure on January 19th.
And Anna, on the other issues that have yet to be tackled in Washington, it seems as though House and Senate Republicans, let alone Republican and Democrats, don't have much agreement, whether you're talking about issues like immigration and DACA or Medicare and Medicaid and welfare.
That's exactly right, and I think we're going to see that's going to be a big theme in January, is kind of the hard feelings coming to a head between the House and Senate. There's been a lot of resentment on the House side about what the Senate is and is not able to accomplish because they have such a thin majority, and they're going to have an even slimmer margin to work with in the new year, as you said, once the Democrat Doug Jones takes his seat. So it's going to be really hard for the Senate to have the same kind of aggressive conservative agenda that many people in the House are saying. We have the majority. We have we control both houses of Congress and the White House. We need to really use this time to further conservative priorities like entitlement reform. But of course, doing all that against the backdrop of the 2018 midterm election.